What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino here with y'all for another Friday Night Live. And we're going to get into it, man, as soon as we get a few of y'all in here because I'm getting kind of disgusted with this whole narrative that's being painted. And we will place blame where it belongs. We'll place blame where it belongs, but we're not finna let this storyline become um, established as unprecedented, as undebatable truth. We're not going to let that storyline get established. So, as soon as a few of y'all come popping in, we'll get right into it because the title tells y'all where we're going. And too many times we see that. We're going to give rap the blame that it deserves. We're going to hold rap and rappers accountable, but we're not going to make it out to seem like every problem that takes place in the world, and particularly in the black community, that's rap music's fault. That's rap music's fault. We're not going to do that. So as y'all come in, y'all know what I'm about to say. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in, and we'll get right into it. You know, we've touched on these types of subjects before because if there's always a situation that comes up that leads us to having this conversation. I can go all the way back. I can go all the way back. Walaikum salam, brother Chris. I see y'all, brother Tawaji. I see brother BGN. What's up, Miss Patty? I see you up in this thing. LW up in here. We can go all the way back, y'all, to as far as I can remember, the first times I started seeing rap music get blamed for certain incidences in society, right? I remember back in 1995, 96, somewhere along those lines, may have been 96, 97. I can't remember. Anyway, there was a young brother who killed a police officer during a routine traffic stop. And when they brought him down to the station, they asked him why he did it. He said he did it because he was listening to Tupac and he was listening to Gangsta Nip. And he said that influenced him, that made him decide he wanted to kill the officer. But there were also other things in play, like drug use, that were in play that contributed to him taking the life of that officer. But quite naturally, rap took a big hit. And I remember this is not, keep in mind, y'all, this is long before social media. That was a big thing that jumped off behind that. Ice Cube and Scarface even made a song where Face referenced that situation where he said Gangsta Nip, Tupac, Spice One never gave a gun to me. And he was basically defending rap music by saying that if somebody commits an act, I don't care what they say. Well, I guess I care what they say because we will talk about the influence and the pull that rap does have, that the music does have. But to place all of that emphasis and weight on a genre, that's not fair. That's not a proportionate way to look at it. It's very disproportionate in that kind of on the scales. So, you know, we remember those who were around that time. We remember when that incident happened, but since then, many other incidents have taken place, and not necessarily murders, but robbery, jacking, drug abuse, drug use. We have to be honest to say some of those things have people have experimented or tried those things to win into those things because they've heard it mentioned on rap songs. They've heard it. They've been popularized through certain rap records. So we can acknowledge that. But when you get to talking about other acts, other criminal acts, other societal problems that we've had, these things existed long before that was this organized construct called hip hop and called rap music. And all you got to do to understand that is go back in history. But those who want to target rap music and those who want to make rap music and rappers in particular appear to be on a whole these thugs, these uh, ignorant N words or whatever, then they will push that storyline because they want not only the destruction of rap music, but they also want to see the destruction of the people who uh, record rap music and the people who listen to rap music, which is all of us, the consumers. They don't want that in place. Now, on a bigger scale, there are the powers who control the industry who they absolutely want to filter in negative influences through the music. They don't want to see the genre destroyed. They just want to let the genre continue to be used in a way that it can destroy the listener. So that's why they put out certain types of music. That's why they release and manufacture and distribute and market and promote certain types of rap music that has that pull on us, and then they suppress any type of rap music that has a positive influence that could potentially create a positive pull on us. And y'all hit the like button, man, if y'all haven't already. So again, we're not going to dismiss personal accountability, but that goes far beyond. That goes before you ever even can speak words as a baby, as to speak English or whatever language you speak. That personal accountability has to take place under the roof of a household. A parent, one or two parents, instilling principles in a child to make them understand the difference between fantasy and reality, to make them understand the difference between entertainment and reality. And when those things get instilled, then we understand that, hey, I'm just listening to the song because I like it. I'm not listening to the song with the anticipation that it's going to shape me and raise me, you know. And when you have people who've grown up in households that are not stable, then unfortunately, a lot of times we look to anything we can grasp onto that can be a contributing factor to giving us guidance, whether it be good or bad guidance, that can contribute to giving us um, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that contribute to giving us love where love might be lacking, information, and motivating us either to go left or to go right. So let's blame it all on rap music. Um, I don't know how old y'all are up in this chat in this conversation. I know we got different ages because every now and then I'll do an age check. I'll hit y'all with it and be like, hey man, how old are y'all? But there have been so many attacks on hip hop throughout the way it's happening now is totally different from the way that it happened back in the 90s. Totally different. You had public officials, government officials that were on the forefront of this attack because they were trying to get ahead of it and think that this would be the new way, this would be the new thing that they could attack and maybe garner them some votes and garner them some support from whoever it is they were trying to pander to at the time. And so hip hop was scapegoated in a lot of cases back in those days, and it was a big media thing. You can go all the way back to Two Live Crew, all the way back to Ice-T, like I said, Tupac, and different artists who fell under that um, umbrella of attack back in those days because of content, big freedom of speech issues popping off left and right. Everybody arguing over the, freedom of speech, First Amendment rights, and all that crap. So this is not a new thing that we're dealing with. A couple of y'all already putting y'all ages up here. I ain't asked y'all to, but I see y'all, and it's diverse, so some of y'all can remember some of the things that have been launched at rap artists and rappers. Um, we can deal with the okay, I saw the word corporate. I was gonna get into that, but that's not the comment that you put on there. But we can get into the corporate side. Absolutely. We can get into the conspiracy side, and some would call it the conspiracy theory, but there have been active campaigns to attack rap music and blame rap music for everything since its inception, because again, it caters to an audience. Trust me, it caters to an audience, and I'm just going to straight out say it, a racist sector of society that they want to see anything involved with hip hop removed and destroyed. But unfortunately, their sons and daughters are listening to hip hop too, and they're consuming a lot of it. So, the argument really is not going to carry any weight, because um, their daughters and sons will be destroyed and caught up in the wave the same way if this thing went away. They love rap and hip hop just as much as blacks and Latinos in the city. You got young white kids listening to hip hop, and like I say, and they're consuming a lot of it. So, you know, what kind of fight are you really trying to have? But the weaponization of hip hop is a real thing. It's a real thing. So before we become so quick to blame the artist, and before we become so quick to even lash out at the consumer and the listeners, again, we got to always take this thing to the root and find out who's in charge and who's responsible for making sure that what we deem to be negative hip hop is constantly being put out there, because it's a hypocrisy that exists. It's a contradiction that exists, because it's like, okay, well, if the complaint is so much evil rap is being injected into the minds of our young people, how does it keep being spread on a mass scale? Because we don't have the power to do that. We don't have the platforms and the resources to continue to push that. So how does it keep getting put out on a mass scale if those who control it have such a problem with it? It's because those who control it really don't have a problem with it, for reasons that I just explained to you. It doesn't matter. They have it in their mind that this is a weapon now. This is another genocidal tool that we can use against these young people to contribute to the depopulation movement that they created. Now, some people say, "Oh man, you're thinking too deep into this. It's not really that serious." And now they not trying to, it's these cats doing this and doing. Again, in 2023, we can only put out records in our own way that only have so much reach. We only got so much reach. In order to maximize your reach, there has to be some help from a higher up, a higher entity, right? And I ain't talking about the higher power. I ain't talking about the creator himself. I'm not talking about the ultimate power. I'm talking about the man who's been given a little power, whose power is almost fizzled out, but he does have some power. So you can start a YouTube channel up. You can start an Instagram channel. You can an Instagram page up. And some people get their Instagram pages popping, but Instagram still belongs to an entity, to a bigger power. And we've seen many of our great artists who were popping on Instagram and all it took for them was to say one thing that was deemed to be offensive, and they got snatched off the platform, right? So then you see them, they'll protest and try to contest what's going on. Oh man, they kicked me off. They took my Instagram page. I had 2 million followers. And you see them crying and complain about it because those followers and that building up of that page on that platform, it represented a revenue stream, right? It represented a revenue stream for them that has now been snatched. The rug has been snatched off from under them. So now, no man, I gotta get my pay on Instagram messing over. See, if it really is not a big deal, then you're gonna let them have it. Okay, well, y'all took it from me because I was speaking my truth, and y'all took it from. Okay, you can have it. Now, am I saying don't fight for it? No, I'm not saying that. If they take your page unjustly, and you feel like you can fight to get it back, by all means, absolutely do that. But this is an example to show us that even if you got 2 million followers, even if you got this or that on this platform and that platform, and you got it popping, everybody tuning, your lives got 5,000-10,000 people watching. The example is that they can take it from you whenever they want to because it belongs to them. That's what it boils down to. So when you violate their guidelines, even if their guidelines are not um, morally upright, see, because they some hypocrites. All these platforms are hypocritical or hypocritically run because the guidelines will be put in place to say to you and me, well, this is to make sure that you don't say anything offensive or anything negative or anything uh, evil content but just like in rap music, just like the distributors and promoters and marketers of hip-hop music that will allow negative content, immoral content to be distributed on a mass scale and fall right into the minds of our young people, it's the same on social media. So if I get on social media and start trying to warn you against the dangers of certain things that they're doing in society that affect us from a health point of view, that affect us from a societal point of view, when I do that, or if somebody does that, then you're getting took down. That's not something that would be considered to be immoral, even if you disagree with a person's position. Okay, that ain't nothing that a little research can't clear up. See, you can put out opinions, you can put out what you believe to be facts. At the end of the day, there's always a way to determine if what's coming out that person's mouth is true or not. All it takes is some research. All it takes is some fact checking, right? And we can see who's right and who's wrong. So that's not a moral issue. But if it's all right to be half naked on the platform, if it's all right to be cooning and buffooning, drunk and falling all on the ground, everybody laughing, and it's all right to be fighting, it's all right to be twerking, it's all right to be some other things I've seen recently. Those are the type of things that don't seem to get attacked or flagged as much. And the question is why? But if somebody says, well, look, man, from a physical standpoint, as far as my vessel is concerned, I've done the research and I've determined that it's not a good thing to. And you can research what I researched and then lay it on the table and see what's up. Because they don't want any kind of truth to be out. So if we say, well, look, you know what, man, let's just blame it all on rap music. We skipping a step. We're skipping a step. Don't fall for that. Give rap its due, but teach our young people how to distinguish between the truths and the falsehoods. Okay, we're gonna play the song. Look, son, hey man, don't get caught up in that and thinking that, okay, this lifestyle that this person is talking about is the absolute. Because from that standpoint, 99% of these rappers are not doing what they rap about. And I'm not even just talking about gangster rap. I'm not even just talking about that. I'm talking about even the ones that brag about having all this money, having all driving these different kind of cars. That's looked at as by some people as being, oh, that's harmless. That's not as dangerous as talking about putting up and shooting or killing somebody. It's not as dangerous as talking about what kind of drugs we're getting ready to do before we go to the club. And it's not as dangerous as that, but it's still dangerous in its own way because it teaches us to cap, you know, and it doesn't really instill the values and the principles in us to actually grind and go get it, or to even not necessarily embrace where you are now. You may not be in position right now. That's not to say that you would embrace it, but you're not ashamed of it. You know, you could rap, you could be rapping and still working a 9 to 5 and make some beautiful music surrounding that. Because the truth of the matter is, more people are going to relate to that reality than they would relate to your 20-room mansion that you don't have, even if you did have it. So the pull is always going to be in going after the grassroots, going after what they call the so-called little people and connecting with them. See, who are we trying to target or connect with? Who am I trying to connect with if I'm rapping about cars and money and a bunch of stuff that I don't have, that I really don't have? Even if I have the ability to get a video made where other people can lend that stuff to my visual and I can lean up against the Maybach, I can do a scene while walking inside of the mansion like it's mine and walking and kick back on the couch. But I'm in somebody else's house. What do I gain from that? And again, what percentage of my community can relate to that? What percentage can relate to that? I learned a long time ago, man, that being real ain't popular, but it goes a long way. Takes you way farther than being something that you're not, or presenting yourself to be. You can't be something that you're not, but you can present yourself as something that you're not. It's impossible to be what you're not. But at the end of the day, the reality of who you are always shows itself at some point. It has no choice but to. And the disappointment that comes along in any facet of life, not just music now, in any facet of life, the disappointment that comes along with finding out that a person is not who they have presented themselves to be and you looked at that person as being what they was presenting themselves to be, man, that's a heavy disappointment. How many of us have believed in a preacher? We believed in a teacher. Some of us believed in a parent. Some of us believed in a rapper. Some of us believed in a politician because they had the gift of gab and they had the ability to sell us the dream. And we bought the dream. But some of the realest ones are the ones who told you, man, I ain't got all that. Some of the realest ones are the ones who presented themselves just how they are. They in the video with the dirty tennis shoes on early in the beginning. They trash. Hey man, this is all we had. This is what we got. We gonna make do what we got. And is that to say that you want to stay there? No, you ain't trying to stay there. That's why a lot of people, a lot of fan base, they always love an artist when they in that underground mode. When they just starting out, man, I like his old stuff when he first came out. He was hungry. But when they hit that lick, when they finally start, when they no longer in that situation and they kind of polish up, then a lot of fans who don't really want to appreciate, the come up of their artist or that artist, they kind of lose interest. He all right now, but I liked him when he was raw. You liked him when he was poor, but we can't expect people to stay in a impoverished state forever. But even as an artist, when you grow, you should still have a connection to where you came from and still be able to figure out how to relay a message through your music that's relatable, that still connects with your audience. Don't get so far gone. Don't get so far above that they can no longer connect with you. Now, if you spit content that's designed to pull them up to where you at so they can grow with you, then that's different. But don't make content that now looks down on the hood. Nah, that's below me now. Nah, can't do that. Can't do that. We're not gonna blame rap for all. We're not gonna let rap be blamed for all of the world's problems, especially when you take into account, when you honestly take into account how many of the world's problems that rap music has solved, has helped, has fixed, how many lives that rap music has changed for the better. So many of us are in positions that we would not have been in. We wouldn't know. Some of us don't know where we would be if it wasn't for this genre called hip hop, this rap called rap music, and this thing called hip hop. We wouldn't know where we would be, because a lot of us, once that bug bit us, we fell in love with it. It was like, this is what we're gonna do. And now this thing has not just made millionaires, made a couple of billionaires, but it's also made a lot of inner city regular brothers and sisters straight off the block, straight out the hood. It has turned them into, it has made them great livings for them and their families. Them and their families. It's put them in positions to transition into other businesses, other fields, all starting with that rap music. It's put them in positions to employ friends and family. It has turned regular cats into corporations, into brands. So while we're going to do all the blaming, let's put some balance into it. Let's look at how many lives that rap music has saved. Even some of the ones who the content is okay with, man, that content is negative. Because a lot of them grew up. They grew up and they grew out. Maybe not 100%, but they, for the most part, grew out of that kind of that content because they grew out of their mindset. So I say it all the time. You typically are not gonna see a 45-year-old rapper rapping the same way he rapped when he was 20. Because that would represent a lack of growth as a man or a woman. It would represent a lack of maturity as a man or a woman. Forget the music. You have to grow and mature as a person. And when you grow and mature as a person first, then everything that you are connected to, everything that you immerse yourself into is going to grow and evolve with you. You can't grow. It's not going to look right for you to grow and your content, your work don't grow. Because if that happens, that means that you haven't grown. So life will dictate your material. You grow out of the childish stuff. But the problem is, the bigger that you get, the record labels, they don't want you to grow out of the childish stuff. They want you to continue to do it. And of course, when you get old enough, he's too old anyway. She's too old. And it's sad to see people trying to hang on to that when you get, as you get older, man, let me explain something to y'all. You should get more polished, more distinguished in how you think and how you move, how you present yourself. So if you have a female rapper who, when she first came out, she was in a two-piece bikini on the album cover. She might have had her butt turned over, bent backwards on the album cover. She in the video like that or whatever. Okay, that ain't something that we push and condone, man. But it ain't something we gonna condemn and try to judge nobody about either, because the same way she doing it, how she doing it as a female, you did whatever you did as a male. You did it, I did it, whoever. So give her time to grow. So we don't expect to see her trying to do that at 45. She's still in the game, still popping. Because she don't have to, my opinion. And I feel like if she does, then I feel like that's either the machine pushing her to still do it. Still got a nice body going on out there. Or it may be her in her own mind just feeling like, hey, I want to show, hey, I still got it. My body's still popping with the young girls. But there are certain things that we don't have to prove anymore. Just put it down. Okay, yeah, you may still have a body, but it's not for everybody to see. It's not. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. See? Same with the gang culture, the gangster culture, or I won't say the gang culture, but I'll say the culture of trying to appear like you gangster. If you got a gun, if you own a gun, that's own your gun. But you ain't got to be flashing it and showing it all the time. So that's where everybody was going in on John Morant and all that. Okay, now he needs some guidance. He need to be made understood. Look, bro, you don't have to. That's cool, but you don't have to show your hand all the time. And the sooner our young people understand that, the better off we'll be. We don't. You a bad dude already. Now, one thing that we can take in our culture that I wish we would take in our culture and implement it into our culture is what I'm talking about. When you see powerful, rich, billionaire executives, right? You don't see them flamboyantly dressed. You don't see them just over the top and demonstrating, being demonstrative and uh, showing what they got. Money, money to your ear like it's a phone, diamonds, and you don't see that. They got all that, a billion times over what you got. I don't care if you're the biggest, most popular rapper in the game. They don't show that because it's not necessary. See, the part of being a boss is in my opinion, y'all ain't got to agree with me, bro. But in my opinion, part of being a boss is the mystique that you exude in terms of how you present yourself. You don't have to be over the top. You can leave an element of mystery to yourself. Nobody has to know every single thing about you and every single thing that you do and every single thing that you have. That's not necessary for everybody to know. But to go into the psychology of why we do that, we can do that for a second. The fact that, speaking as Black people, we have always been disenfranchised. We've always been marginalized. We've always been kept out. We've always been denied opportunity. We've always been um, institutionally placed in conditions of poverty and want, right? So the first time we get a little something, it's like a dog being let out of the cage after 8 weeks. You're going to take off and run all over the place and just express yourself because of something that you never had. So in that regard, that represents the psychology of it, why, the mental aspect of why we got to show the world that we are validated by what we have, our possessions, when the possessions are not what should validate us, because they actually don't validate us. The possessions don't make you who you are. It just gives you a attention grabbing presentation. That's all it does. It turns heads into your direction. And sometimes that's what we want. That's why you get the car. That's why you got the grill in your mouth. And that's why you wear the bright fluorescent colors. Because you're trying to attract attention to yourself, because you may have been a person who never had any attention on you. So I understand that. But you have to be patient and you have to be disciplined enough to understand, like I said, that's not how a true boss moves. It's not how a true boss moves. And it's also very dangerous in any time, but in this day and age, it's also very dangerous. That's why people get so upset when we see one of our young brothers or sisters put themselves out there like that. So if I'm on Instagram telling you to pull up, I'm over here. I'm like, come pull up if you out. And then they pull up and they kill a dude. So now we upset. We upset at the young brother who invited that fate into his life when he didn't have to do it to prove a point. We're upset if somebody robs you for $250,000 worth of jewelry, because the first thing we thinking is, why are you walking around with $250,000 worth of jewelry? Why are you walking around with 80 grand on you? And if you're walking around with 80 grand on you, Illuminati, yeah, 23, 25 years old, babies. If you're walking around with 85, 90 grand on you, you should have a very, very good reason for traveling around with that kind of money on you. You should have a very good reason, man. And there are only a handful of reasons that would warrant it making sense for you to be walking. You better be, hey man, I had to go, they wanted cash, I had to go to the bank to pay this house, or whatever it is, I don't know. But you went and got that 90 grand and went straight to your destination. I ain't talking about trying to buy no dope. See? But if you just walking around with 90 grand on you, then you pull into a parking lot and you hit the live button, you going live, and now you flashing your 90 grand, and this is where we at. And bro, you are inviting problems, man. And as intelligent as we have proven ourselves to be in the fact that you have come from the mud and generated enough of a popularity and creativity in your music to even generate the kind of revenue that you would have a loose 90 grand, shows that you're not stupid. You got plenty of intelligence. But you don't have to be stupid to make a stupid move. An intelligent person can do one thing that's unintelligent in a moment. But it's about the level and the degrees of that unintelligent thing that you do that determines the consequence. So it's about discipline. And once we start to utilize or exercise that kind of discipline to where we just have it in our mind, I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody at any age, whether I'm 19, whether I'm 49, I don't have to prove. I don't have to prove to you that I got money. You believe it or you don't. I could care less. I don't have to prove to you that I still got my sexy body. I'm still fine. I still don't have to prove that, because that's another type of negative attention that you can bring to yourself as a female. You got stalkers out here, man. You got perverts checking out your page and finding out, because sisters doing it too. Going live from the restaurant where you at, going live with you and your homegirls, and I ain't talking about celebrities now. And as much as we can say, well, man, we should be able to do anything, we should be able to drive our nice car, we should be able to do that. You're right. And I'm not telling you not to. Just saying be wise in how you move. Everybody ain't for you out here. So that's why you see these cats that'll show up at a school and they'll start shooting up everybody in the school, killing innocent children in the school, in elementary school, middle school. Walk in the grocery store, just start killing people. See? What do they blame that on? Since the rap culture has nothing to do with that. Because the cats that's doing that, they ain't in rap culture. They on something else. So who do you blame that on? Who does society find to point the finger at when it comes to that? So it's problems that exist. Let me read y'all's comments, man. Let me go back, y'all. Let me go back. Halfstein says, imagine how much rap has destroyed racism. I wouldn't say rap has destroyed racism. I would never say that, because racism is a power that God gonna have to wipe the racists out. That nature is not gonna change. But I will say, to your point, that rap music, like a lot of other genres of music as well, but since we're on the subject of rap, that's what we're talking about. Rap music has been a unifying presence across racial lines, because there are people of different races that may have not connected however they connected, had it not been for the commonality that they have, that they found through rap or in rap. Rap is the common denominator between individuals who are from totally different walks of life that happen to love the same song and happen to love the same artist, and now find themselves shoulder to shoulder with each other at a concert, bobbing their head in unison. I don't even know this guy. He don't know me. We bobbing our head. We chanting. We singing the song together. So rap has been a unifying presence, and that's a beautiful thing, because that's what music does. But it didn't destroy racism. There's a lot of people who love rap but hate that don't like the rapper. Some of them hate that they like the song. Mom and pops fed me, music raised me. Music can contribute to raising you for the good or for the bad. Music can contribute to raising you. Hey, hit the like button if y'all haven't already, man. Everybody that just come flying in a little later, y'all click that like button when you come in. Also, I want to say this before I forget. The new episode of my podcast, the Underground Dialogue podcast, is out. It's up. So when I get off of here, y'all make sure y'all go check it out. Underground, we talking about AI. We talking about artificial intelligence on that episode. A lot of people have been asking me about it. The episode is actually up. I'm reading y'all's comments now, man. It's that D-Gen Ra. Perspectives change with age. For some, not all the time. Everybody's perspectives don't change with age. Some people are locked in their thought processes from the cradle to the grave. LW, only Pusha T does what? I didn't catch the first part of what you say. Only Pusha T does it. And Dollar Bill sent me a beat the other day that almost made me throw my computer out the window. We'll talk about that later on. Let's just blame rap for everything. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Do we got some stuff to clean up? Absolutely. We got some things to clean up. The Illuminati got the mainstream drill on lock. Lately, it's all ski mask, murder scenes, Dracos, and Glocks. You got bars, Jonathan. You a poet and didn't even know it. Michelle Wood said that's why Tory Lanez is in trouble. We got to make decisions. See, but you got to understand the situation that Tory Lanez is in. That's a situation that happens every day, and it has nothing to do with rap. It just happened to be two world famous rappers involved in a situation. How many altercations are taking place in a household right now between a man and a woman, and something like that pops off, or worse, and it had nothing to do with rap music. But when rappers are involved, now the narrative changes. Now it's, oh, see, that's why. See, and the people, like I say, the enemies of the genre, and a lot of the racists who look for anything to try to point the finger at rap music anyway. See, that's why they got to get rid of rap music. And they trick some of y'all. Cause I hear Negroes saying that. It's the rap music. Okay, let me see. I'm still in y'all comments, man. Still in y'all comments. Hold on. I'm looking for something that's gonna blow my mind. Say Ja is putting on an act because that's what the culture calls for. And see, that's the thing, man. You know what? You said something. You said that's what the culture calls for. Here's the thing. When the culture calls, we don't need to always answer. Because the culture don't always have our best interest in mind. See, the culture creates crash dummies. Remember that. The culture creates crash dummies. And I wasn't trying to do an alliteration. And what I mean by that is when we get caught up in the pressure of feeling like we have to do what the culture deems to be just the G move to make. If you don't do this, then you ain't real, you ain't a gangster, you ain't the G, you ain't true to it. Whatever words you can use, whatever term you can use. That's the culture creating crash dummies. Putting you under that kind of pressure, which is an illusion. That pressure don't even exist. I got to show everybody that I'm real. I got to go back to the hood to show all the homies in the hood that I ain't forgot about them. Not by going back and say, hey man, I remember when you used to be good at this. I remember, hey, I want to bring you on my staff. I want to bring you. Not like that. You want to come in and say, well, man, you still out here getting it? Hey man, look, man, that's 20 right there, man. Go get you something, man. Just go get you something and flip it, man. Nah, that's not how you do it. You don't forget about the hood, man. You don't leave, you don't abandon the hood. You come back and improve it. You come back and provide opportunities. See, I was having a conversation with my homie KO, OG KO South Park Coalition. We was having a good conversation. We're just talking about Brother Ja. And he was just saying along the lines of, well, man, he's young, man, he's young. Yeah, he is young, but young cannot be an excuse when unless we 2 years old. If I'm 2 years old and I'm walking through the house with the gun, I done found daddy's gun in the room, and I'm two. I don't know no better. But you can't tell me that at 23 you don't know better. He got a right to carry a gun. I just said that earlier. Everything you have a right to do doesn't mean you have to publicly display yourself doing it. You don't have to do it. So And there are too many examples of young brothers, young sisters who have been young, who have been that age or younger, who have shown that they don't have to go down, they don't have to do it like that. Love or hate LeBron James as a basketball player. A lot of people, LeBron, he ain't Jordan, he whined, he flopped. Whatever you say about him as a basketball player, put that to the side and let's focus on this man from the time we first heard his name when he was 17 or 18 years old, coming into the NBA straight out of high school, coming up out the hood, single mother, never knew who his dad was, took the same guys that he went to high school with. Now, all of these guys work as a part of his team, and those guys been together for 20 years. This man's name has never been involved in any scandal, never been involved in any criminal activity, never seen a LeBron James mugshot, never seen LeBron James doing anything outside of the realm of violating his image, anything in terms of violating his public image, family man, wife, beautiful children. He was 18 when he came in. So at the end of the day, it's about the choices that you make for yourself and how you're going to move and what you're going to allow yourself to be influenced by. LeBron James like rap music too. That's why I say you can't blame rap. Because LeBron James, I'm sure he's heard all sorts of content that ain't necessarily positive content. I'm sure he heard some shoot 'em up rap, dope man rap, drill music, trap music, whatever you want to say. But the difference in the maturity levels is based around the ability to listen to that music all day long if you want to. And then when you decide, I'm through listening to it, time for me to go to work. Time for me to go and clean up. Time for me to go to basketball practice. Time for me to go help my mother do this and do that. Time for me to go to school. I got to be to class. Because you have separated that from reality. You have compartmentalized that aspect of your life. You've provided yourself with entertainment through that, and now it's time to get back to real life. But based on our own upbringings, based on our own influences that are outside of music, sometimes we rush. That's me right there. I see myself in that. That ain't you. That ain't you. What makes people feel as though they need to judge people that aren't their blood for their life choices when they are not dangerous to children or other people? I don't know. TV made them do it. That's the name of the person who made this comment. You said, what makes people feel as though they need to judge people that aren't their blood for their life choices when they are not dangerous? Sometimes it's not always a judgment. And we got to really be careful the way we use that word, because, man, don't judge me. No, everybody's not See, a critique and a judgment is two different things. An assessment and a judgment are different things. An observation, a behavioral observation and a judgment is two different things. A condemnation. See, I look more so at that word. I look at the word condemnation. See, I'm not big on condemning people for a mistake. You'll never hear me condemning a rapper for a particular mistake. Now, certain things is like, okay, hold on now. You got to be extreme. And even then, I'm only go so far. Because to your point, none of us are perfect. None of us are walking the earth angelic. And if you act like you are, then you being a hypocrite. But we still can't let the word judge um, scare us or discourage us from uh, pointing out things that we may have to criticize about each other or correct each other about. So when you do that, man, y'all so judgmental, y'all judging me. Nah, ain't my place to judge you, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you, hey man, you tripping, bro. Same as you would tell me. Even with the title of this live that I'm doing right now, y'all have still heard me talk about uh, the accountability that we still have to have as artists. We ain't crazy. We're not gonna act like we should be able to do whatever we want to do and say whatever we want to say. No, we shouldn't. No, you shouldn't be able to say what you want to say as a rapper because of the fact that influence is involved. So yeah, you say this and you say that, and you talking about a bunch of stuff that you don't even do, but it's some 13-year-old that's doing everything you say. So no, you don't get that right. Read y'all's comments, man. They want to turn us against our own genre. Can't let that happen. That's why it's always been a mistake to let them take control over our music since day one. Since day one. Because they have the ability to determine what goes out and paint the story. Journey Sustain says there is no freedom, no privacy in the fourth dimension. Austin resident here. I can confirm that it's red alert with the perverts these days. Don't do meth. See, we be in our own bubble. We get in our own little bubble, and we think that the only thing that the only people that exist or who are focusing in on us are those who we allow into our circle. That's not true. There are evil eyes always watching you. Did any sketchy record labels ever try to sign me? Yeah. And I actually signed with one of them. Yeah. It happens. Appreciate the love, Daryl Lamb. Violence doesn't have to be life. The weak-minded make it so. Well, violence stems from a lot of sources, man. Violence can hey, y'all hit the like button if y'all just coming in here, man. Click that thumbs up if y'all just coming in. Let's try to get to 100 likes before we shut it down. Halfstein, you on top of it, huh? Yeah, my self-titled album, man. I was in the middle of a bad record deal on that album. And the biggest problem, man, is that a lot of artists get involved in this industry on that high level, and they see it for what it is. And when they see it for what it is, they try to get out. And a lot of times they're not able to get out. See, when you look at the devil face to face, man, when you look at the devil face to face, bro, anybody with any type of morals about themselves, they want to get out. They ready to go because they never want you to improve yourself as a person. All they care about is the money, the bottom line, and the destruction of our people. They don't want you to improve yourself. They get upset when you come and say, man, I want to start doing some different stuff. Man, I kind of want to go in a positive direction. I kind of want to do that. Look at the sister Black China. Look at what she did. I was so proud of her, man, because she removed all of that artificial stuff that she had going on in her. Because I think, and I can't confirm it, but she kind of said it in a way like she was focusing on her long-term health. And sometimes you can see the transformation, and you can see the degenerative effects that stuff has had on others that came before you, and that others who overdone it. And she got out. She reversed. She took all that stuff out of herself, man. And she's better for it. Beautiful for it. Beautiful for it. And it freed her, just based on what I've seen, the interviews and the few things. It freed her because, again, just like in rap music, you are under pressure to keep putting out this type of content because they're pushing you to do it. In the modeling world, in Hollywood, you are under pressure to maintain a certain look. So I gotta get this. I gotta get a BBL. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. I gotta get my face done. I gotta get this injected in here. I gotta get these. And as you get older, and also mixed in with the lack of knowledge, or the lack of even caring to gain the knowledge of what they putting into you. Women getting fix-a-flat injected in their butt, and the stuff messing them up. And sometimes even when you get it out, you're just so destroyed. It's just you tore up. The removal of it messes you up. Milo G says, once someone sees the devil's face, they're already in hell. Only the strong fight. Not necessarily. See, the devil, he maneuvers and travels through all sectors of life. The devil will be in heaven. See, the devil can disguise himself as an angel. See, it's too much scripture to back that up. What's the scripture, y'all? Y'all help me out. Somebody in here know. Where, man, I don't want to say it wrong, but that's what came into my mind. There's a scripture that talks about, man, I don't want to say it wrong. But anyway, there were people who came up before God, right? A group of people came up before God. And when God saw them approaching, he looked out into the crowd and said, whence cometh thou, Satan? He was asking, like, where you come from, Satan? And the people that were in the crowd, they looking around like, Satan ain't with us. But he was. He was among the group. And had the nerve to still walk up with the people while they was approaching God. So you ain't always in hell when you face the devil. Now that's Bible. Now in the Quran, it talks about Satan issuing a challenge to God, telling God to his face that I'm going to wait for your people, wait for God's people in your straight path, in God's straight path. So the devil is going to be in the straight path. which is religion, which is the church, which is anywhere you think he wouldn't be. But the people wouldn't recognize him. So some of us dancing with the devil and don't even know it. And in the entertainment industry, that's a common theme for some who know and some who don't know, rather. Because that first handshake, everybody's happy. The CEO is happy. The artist is happy. Everybody's happy. When you sign that deal, and welcome to the team, welcome to the label, welcome. You calling your mama, crying, happy. But only a few months in, you realize what you got yourself into. You realize who you're dealing with. You dancing with the devil. You didn't know. Then when you start to understand what you are involved in, and you call them out on it, and you take it to, hey man, I'm this contract, this is not. I thought I was supposed to do. Then they do this. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is the devil. See? The devil will be in the straight path. That's right. So the people that's in the straight path, they like, we good. We good. The devil like, yeah, I'm good too. So evil is always sitting in the midst of good. That's why y'all can't blame rap music for everything. Because it's the devil you don't see. It's the devil you don't see. The evil laugh. Whoa, whoa. I can't do it. Ratchet Medic says only a fool raps about garbage. Well, I mean, we've all been that fool. You can go find a bunch of songs where I'm rapping about garbage. I wouldn't say that only a fool raps about garbage. I would say we've all been foolish to make that mistake. Now, what will determine whether or not you're a fool is to come into the knowledge that you're rapping about garbage and the danger that the rapping about garbage can cause to people, and then you continue to do it. Then you're a fool. Now you're a fool. Because I've talked about growth earlier. Gotta grow, man. Gotta grow up. That's what it really is. It's about growing up. Because a lot of rappers that said degrading things about women when they were young and in their 20s and putting out records and all that, guess what happened to a lot of those rappers? They got older and had daughters. So now the perspective changes, because now it's like, I can't be talking about B's and H's and I got a little 4-year-old pretty little daughter here that's gonna grow up. Not only is she gonna grow up hearing daddy say all that stuff, all women is H's and B's, but daddy, ain't I a woman? Yeah, see, you different guy. You're not. No, you realize it. That the same B's and H's that you're referring to those women as, they somebody's daughter too. They was somebody's little girl at some point. They might have got misguided, taken off the track at some point, but that don't change who they are in the sight of God. It just changes who they are in your sight, my sight, in our low vibration vision. That's when it changes the perception. She just a little freak, man. That's a little freak right there, boy. See if we can get that little freak to the house, man. We can. That ain't how God see her. I don't care what you talking about. I don't care what you rapping about. That's not how her creator sees her. Man, she got ran through. Don't matter. Because if that did happen to her, it's some dude that gassed it up, that put the key in her back, that manipulated her, and it's a hard head at the forefront of that. So boys grew up, started having daughters. Even the ones that had sons, they grew up and was like, "Hey man, don't talk to girls like that, man. Hey man, don't hit on a little girl in school, son. You know, you get it for the most part. You got some people out there that's ignorant as all outdoors and raising their sons and daughters just as messed up because the cycle doesn't get broken. Give me 10 more likes, man. Y'all haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit it. D-Gen Raw. The problem with rap is they took dissing on wax to killing on the street. That's one of the problems, because a lot of our young brothers and sisters that came off the streets, you know, most rappers came off the streets. But when you take the blessing and the gift of that music, and you have the mindset to say, I'm going to use this art form to transition out of a street lifestyle, that was then. Compared to maybe you have a lot of brothers now that they've successfully become successful out of the street and have made it in the music industry, but they still have their feet planted in that lifestyle, in that street lifestyle. Instead of saying, okay, man, the goal was to get out of that, but I'm still in it. So I think that's the difference in the thinking. Some people was like, man, it's so crazy out here, man, I gotta do something. So if I ain't gonna make it in basketball, I ain't gonna make it in football. I gotta try to do this rap thing. And make sure that I can get out of this lifestyle I'm in, man. It's not comfortable. But some people are comfortable in that lifestyle. So they never transition out of it, or like I said earlier, they never come back to improve it. So it perpetuates itself. So now another difference is a lot of the rappers that was rapping, trust me, a lot of rappers that was gangster rapping back in the days, they was not doing what they was talking about. They wasn't. So handful, very small percentage. But these youngsters today, oh, they getting down. They getting down. And that's why the guidance has to be there, so that that guidance can possibly save their life. Because in some cases, having children don't mellow them out. Because we've seen too many of our young artists get murdered, and then the first thing you hear about is his 4-year-old daughter, his 5-year-old son, his 6-year-old daughter. So a lot of times having children did not make them snap on to the importance of their presence in the life of their child, right? Need guidance, man. Need guidance. The ultra modern human experience is encompassed with toxicity, but I know that I got to keep persevering. We live in a toxic world on all levels because the toxicity starts at the top and then they rain it and trick and sprinkle it down into all aspects of life. But it has one source. The same people run every category. All right. Y'all drop y'all locations, man. I'll get out y'all way. Drop your locations. Let me know where y'all at. Shout out to everybody who dropped some donations too. I've been running my mouth. I ain't had time to shout y'all out. Hashstein. Who else, man? Let me go back up. But in the meantime, drop y'all location. Dr. Goldstein, I appreciate you, man. My bad, my bad. I saw it earlier, but I was yapping and didn't want to lose my thought. See, when you get up in age, you got to say what you got to say before you forget. I have a thought in my head, and as quick as that thought is in my head, it'll just whoop, and I'll be like, what was I about to say? So much love, Dr. Goldstein. Saw another one. We got Halfstein, Goldstein. All we need now is Afro Sheen. Y'all don't know nothing about no Afro Sheen, man. Y'all don't know nothing about no Afro Sheen. Hey, man, we got some stuff coming up too, man. Again, I want to let y'all know that the new episode of Underground Dialogue podcast is up, and we talk about artificial intelligence, y'all. So y'all want to get deep into that. We went as deep as we can go, as we know to go. Maybe y'all can offer some insight that we missed, or y'all may know levels of it that we're not familiar with. But me and Kisto went in and just laid out pros and cons, things that could be considered good and things that you got to watch out for, man. Because everything that is done initially, it's my opinion, on an experimental level. Appreciate y'all for getting me over 100 likes. Thank y'all. So when they come in slow, experimenting, just testing this stuff, we're gonna put this little robot out and let the AI run the McDonald's. We're gonna do that and see how that goes. It's all for a bigger purpose. They're gonna experiment before they do the big thing. They sent a monkey in space before they sent a human just to see. Oh, you say that's what I was saying about Pusha T, no growth in the song. Really? I don't really listen a lot to Pusha T, but I thought Pusha T was dropping some stuff, man. I don't know. I haven't really listened to him. Journey says we all get misguided. It's how we get back and learn to stay on the path. See, first thing we got to know is that we getting misguided. See, a lot of the misguided, a lot of the deceived don't know that they deceived. So I can't correct myself if I don't know I'm wrong. I'll even argue with you when I'm wrong because I think I'm right. All right, let me shout y'all out, man. Big Ock, Big Ock. Rap game is the dope game. People sell hard poison to the hood to get paid. Now they sell a poisonous lifestyle to the hood to get paid. And just like the dope game, you got, because this is a good point you made. I'm gonna give this analogy. Just like the dope game, you have You got the little dudes on the corner. Car pull up, they run up, boom, boom. They make them a little $300-400. They all right. They got a little bread in their pocket. They doing all right. But just like the dope game, but in the dope game, I mean, it's a bigger one. It's a kingpin that's making the real money. That's my analogy to the rap game. Yeah, the rap game, yeah, you got the little rappers that's putting out the little content. They putting out the poison, yeah. But the kingpin is the catalyst to that poison, to the distribution. It's like the distribution of the dope, the distribution of the music, the negative content. It's the same principle. But we don't ever want to get to the point where we want to hold our own people accountable. Absolutely. But we don't ever want to overlook that high seat. Y'all remember that TV? I used to love that game show, Deal or No Deal. And they'll be playing the game, but you look up at the top in that little window, you can see the silhouette of that guy, the banker. He's at the top. You can't see his face, but he calls the shots. That's how the rap game is. So the rappers are only doing what they feel. I just got to get this little money, just like little dope dealers do. Just got to get this little money, man. But the person that's powering it, they up there. They sit in that seat. We got to chop his head off. See, the rappers is branches, man. Them devils is the roots. Hold on, man. Gotta shout y'all out, man. I missed that part. 1960 Texas, what up, Drought? Journey out there in Pennsylvania. I know the homie Phantom Face out there in Columbus, Ohio. C Mac, happy birthday, man. Happy B-Day. Say happy Soul Day. The 18th, okay, that's what's up. Yeah, you one day removed. Man, I wish you a million more, my brother. Go show some love to your mother. She brought you in the world. KS out there in Temple. DJ Bud Light, Minnesota. Pat Warren in Ohio. Yep, Phantom Face. Gospel in Babylon. Is that Dumitru? Oh, okay. He was asking another question. Sean Moran out there in London town. DT in Melbourne. Salt Lake City, the building. Coloma Gnarly. C-Mac, Oak Cliff. Check it out, man. We coming to Dallas. We finna do a show in Dallas. I'll announce the details real soon. We got Dallas coming up. I'll be in San Antonio June the 2nd. June the 2nd, your big brother will be in San Antonio, Texas, performing live. Jimmy Robinson up in this thing, man. Jason Hughes out there in the 757, Virginia. Jimmy, man. Ooh, Jimmy say, I think most rappers don't realize the power of their words. Other than trying to be hip and imitate the current sound and trends, they're not realizing the tongue is a sword. Yeah, man. They got to be taught. It's up to us to teach them. Not only do we not know the power of our words, we don't know our own power. So we feel, man, I'm just making a song. Ain't nobody going to listen to me. Depends on how good that song sounds. Scotty out there in Pensacola. Appreciate the love. Is that DFIG out there in Toronto? Did I see you in Toronto? Did you come holler at your boy when I was in Toronto? DFIG. When I came to Toronto, was you at the meet and greet? The Cold Souls in Oregon. Is that hella hex? Was that a piece of cheese? Does that mean you in Wisconsin? Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Nashville, Tennessee. Who's that lady? Milo G out there in Western Canada. I see you, V. Zawaji Muhammad, Bayou City South. Bass out there. Is that Bass or Bass? In Northern Michigan. Scotty in the 850. Roster in Oahu. Winston-Salem, DGen. Jimmy in Alabama. Yeah, man, we up in here. BG to the end. I got to get with you, James. We got the SPC album getting ready to drop, and we letting boys put in bids to do this album cover. We got like 3 or 4 people that's gonna put in to put a cover together. We're gonna pick the one we like the most. So if you want to jump in that mix, BGN, let me know. Jovan said, why would anyone want to live in this horrible world? Well, the world is only horrible because of horrible people. Always remember that. And it's not about, why would I want to live in this horrible world? Our purpose is to make the world better. See, nephew, you got to understand, you only interact. I only interact. Everybody on here, we only interact with a few people in our lifetime. You only come across a few people. You're only going to have a few serious relationships. You're only going to have a few jobs with a few coworkers. Think about this for a minute where I'm going, y'all. You're only gonna interact on a consistent basis. You only got a few family members. You only got 1 to 2 parents active in your life. Some cousins, some home. You only got a few good friends. So you don't really interact with thousands and tens of thousands of people consistently. So when you have a horrible world, if you're relating it directly to maybe your own experiences, then that's really all you got to go by. It's up to you and me to remove any horrible people or people who don't have a positive effect on us. It's up to us to move from that. I said that on the last live. You got to remove yourself. So we can't chalk it up and just say the world is so horrible. Yeah, the world is horrible on different scales, different levels, different degrees, different parts of society, societal ills, right? But there used to be a song that says, life is what you make it, so happy. You have to make your reality better. Not give up and, oh man, the world is just, you got to make your reality better. You. This person is not good for you. Move away from that person. This job ain't making me happy, it's stressing me out. Go get another one. Or create your own. Better yet. See? The world is horrible. But make part of your purpose to be to make the world better. Take somebody else who's feeling like the world is horrible and try to make it a little better for them. A little at a time. Okay? Phantom Face said no one asked to be here. No, nobody asked to be here because you can't ask a question if you don't have a mouth. You did not exist. So, yeah, nobody asked to be here, but nobody's here by accident. You might have been an accident to your mother and father. They didn't expect to have you. They weren't trying to bring you here. But you're not an accident. Because God purposed for you to be here. So regardless of what your condition was, figure it out. We be suppressing our greatness too much, man. We give up too easy. We give up too easy, man. Codeine AI voice coming soon. Y'all go watch the episode, man. Go watch my podcast episode. I'm talking about all that. Some weird stuff, man. See, Satan will give you the toys and the tools to play with, then will condemn you and lock you up or kill you or destroy you for using the tools that he gave you. So we got to not take his tools. Well, I ain't playing with your toys, buddy. Rasta Gideon rap used to keep us off the street. And it did, man. We ain't gonna let people just condemn rap. Rap got a lot of people. Rap has got a lot of people out off the street. Rap made a lot of people rich. Rap turned a lot of people into to moguls and business people and helped them transition into other parts of business and life. Yep. AC Uno says, there's no Satan, K. Don't be a fake preacher. Prove it. Prove that there's no Satan. Prove that there's no power, no force, no evil personage that has imposed evil on this whole world. If it ain't a Satan, who's responsible? And I can't be a fake preacher because I'm not a preacher at all. Rap taught us how to be self-sufficient. See, sometimes, man, we got to understand, if you have something, right, it's like money. Let me use money as an example. I could give each one of y'all on here $5,000, right? If everybody on here was given $5,000, there would be people who use it totally different. One of y'all gonna go buy $5,000 worth of cocaine and either snort it or try to figure out a way to flip it and sell it. One of y'all gonna say, man, you know what, let me invest this and try to do this and flip it in a business way and make it multiply. Somebody's gonna donate it. Somebody's gonna say, man, I'm gonna give this to charity. I'm gonna do. So the money is not good nor evil. It's how you use the money. And the utilization of the money is all based on the mind of the person who holds the money in their hand. Somebody gonna go to the strip club and blow it off. Hey man, what you do with your $5,000? Man, I went to the strip club and see, it ain't about the money. It's not about what you have, it's what you do with what you have. LW say she gonna spend $1,000 of hers just on Oreos alone. It's not the money, it's what you do. So it's not about how bad the world is, it's what you can control. See, I know people who they watch things that are totally out of their control. The news, something happening in the whole other part of the world, and they start stressing, oh, this world is just so... Man, shut up. Control what you can control. Make your little space a better place. You can't control what happened in Mozambique. Can't control that. You're right here. You could take the same thing that somebody intended for evil and you could turn it into good. Just like people turn what's intended for good into evil. The decision that you make. So don't blame rap music. Use it for good. Use it for good. Recognize those who use it for evil and go against the grain. Go against that. Is hip hop and rap the same? No, rap is a component of hip hop. Hip hop got all kinds of things in it, you know. DJing is hip hop. Breakdancing is hip hop. Graffiti is hip hop. Rap is hip hop. So, you know, rap sits under the umbrella of hip hop. Who's that lady? We could all use 5Gs. That was just an example. If I could give all y'all 5Gs, I would, man. I really would. All right, man. Homework assignment before I go again. When y'all sign off, if y'all not going to sleep or got to get up early, y'all go watch my latest episode of the podcast. If you are in Houston, Texas, May the 26th through the 28th, me and Dollar Bill, better known as Martial Arts Experiment, will be at the George R. Brown Convention Center, pushing our comic book. What time does it start? They have what they call the Comic Palooza. If y'all in Houston, come through and support our booth. We want our booth to be packed, man. We want everybody come out and show love. We new in the comic book game, y'all. We new in the comic book game. So we want the people who, even the OGs that's we want them to look at us like, who's the dude over there? Who are those little cats over there? See? You need your people to rep for you. So we will be there on the 26th. What else we got going on? June 2nd, we'll be in San Antonio, Texas. I'll get the info and make a video. I don't remember the address. What else? Oh, June 10th, we'll be in Houston. Got a big show in Houston, Texas, South Park Coalition. Oh, I got that address. This is where we'll be June 10th, right here in Houston. South Park Coalition. I'm putting all this stuff down, man. Y'all mark it down. Mark it down, man. Never did a song with any of the Bone Thugs members. Yep. We'll be on the north side. Rainbow, rainbow on the north side. Rappers spit rhymes that are mostly illegal. MCs spit rhymes to uplift their people. That's some KRS-One. No difference. no doubt. Instinct. The blaming of rap is usually from fear, bias, ignorance, and I'm gonna add one more: racism. Cephalopod sapien. Good points. Yes, sir. And that's what I said early on. I referenced the '90s when we would first started this live. Hey man, thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all time. Much love. Peace.